Welcome back to my channel Celebuzz. Please share and subscribe and press the bell icon for new updates. The trial of Sean Diddy Combs has officially begun. And what's already happening in that courtroom could change everything. Not just for him, but for the entire music industry. The charges? Sex trafficking, racketeering, criminal conspiracy. These aren't just headlines. They're federal crimes that carry decades in prison. And despite pleading not guilty, Diddy is walking into court every day knowing he could lose everything. But now, his ex-girlfriend, R&B singer Cassie Ventura, has stepped forward as the government's star witness. The same woman who settled a civil lawsuit with Diddy for millions of dollars is now back, this time under oath. She's not alone either. Sources say other former partners, business associates, and even a male sex worker are also preparing to testify against him. This isn't just a trial. It's a full-on unraveling of the empire Diddy built over the last 30 years. At the heart of the legal battle is jury selection. Diddy's legal team knows that in high-profile cases, the trial can be won or lost before opening statements even begin. They're looking for jurors who won't be swayed by headlines, social media, or years of rumors. But how do you find people who haven't already heard something about Diddy, especially when he's been one of the most famous and controversial figures in hip-hop? Some jurors were dismissed immediately. One woman admitted she was a survivor of sexual assault and didn't think she could be fair. Another said flat out, "Rich men always get away with it." And then there was someone who worked at HBO, the same network working on a Diddy documentary. Too close, too risky, gone. It's clear that both sides are treating this jury selection like a war room. Every detail matters. Even age, race, profession, or music taste could make a difference. And then came the bombshell. Diddy turned down a plea deal. That tells us something big. The prosecution clearly offered him a lighter sentence if he pleaded guilty. But Diddy said no. That's either extreme confidence or extreme risk. Because if the jury convicts him, he could be looking at 15 years to life in prison. At 54 years old, that could mean dying behind bars. So why gamble at all? Maybe he believes Cassie's testimony won't hold up. Maybe he's counting on jury sympathy. Or maybe he truly believes he's innocent. But Cassie's involvement adds serious weight to the case. For over a decade, she was by his side, and now she's stepping forward again. Not for money, but for justice. She's using her real name. She's showing her face. That takes courage. And juries take notice. When victims testify publicly, it often shifts the emotional tone of the trial. Especially if Cassie can offer details that match up with other witnesses or hard evidence. Speaking of evidence, a video of Diddy has been cleared for trial. In it, he breaks down emotionally, saying he hit rock bottom. He admits to mistakes, says he takes full responsibility, and claims he's turned to therapy and God. But here's the catch. The jury won't just see a man apologizing. They'll see a man admitting guilt. And that clip could shape how they view every other accusation. To fight back, Diddy is calling in the big guns. He's hired Brian Steele, one of Georgia's most feared criminal defense attorneys. Steele's known for defending rapper Young Thug and getting major charges dismissed. Diddy also brought in Nicole Westmoreland, who worked on the same case. She's not just a lawyer, she's a survivor of sexual abuse herself. Her perspective could be a double-edged sword in court. On one hand, she understands the trauma victims go through. On the other, she believes Diddy deserves a fair trial and she's fighting to make sure he gets it. Still, the odds are stacking up. Behind the scenes, the Department of Justice has been building this case for years. This isn't about one person's story. It's about a pattern. If prosecutors can show that Diddy used his power and fame to run a long-term criminal operation, he could be facing the same fate as Harvey Weinstein or R. Kelly. And this time, the industry is watching closely. Because if Diddy goes down, he might not go alone. Witnesses might name others, executives, artists, insiders. The entire culture around him could collapse. That's why this trial isn't just about justice, it's about legacy. So now, every testimony, every cross-examination, every juror's expression, it all matters. The verdict is still far off. But one thing is clear. Diddy's world is on the line, and no amount of money, fame, or history can protect him from what's coming next. Stay tuned.